we're chasing, leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Tape my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us.
used to be the lost boy running insane. I used to be the ghost boy looking for fame. I used to work so hard to get it, so hard to get it. I used to be the one living in the fast lane. I used to be the one who only cried in the rain. I used to work so hard to get it, and so hard to get it. And so hard to get it. I used to be the lost boy running insane. I used to be the ghost boy looking for fame. I used to work so hard to get it, so hard to get it. I used to be the one living in the fast lane. I used to be the one who only cried in the rain. I used to work so hard to get it, and so hard to get it. I used to be the lost boy running insane. Used to be the ghost boy looking for fame. I used to work so hard to get it. I used to be the one living in the fast lane. Used to be the one who only cried in the rain. I used to work so hard to get it. It's so hard to get it. It's so hard to get it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this roundtable today. Today we'll be discussing some reaction to females in the gaming organizations. And with me today, I have Eva, who is a known person, and when it comes to gaming and girls. So, Eva, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm a strong advocate for children and young people in technology, and I also work with diversity in every sense of the word, especially when it comes to girls and women in technology. I'm also the founder of an organization called DigiPipi, which is an organization where we teach girls aged 7 through 13 about technology by using their interests and female role models. And yeah, I'm a board member and diversity consultant at Esport Denmark. And basically, I just go around and try and make sure that there's room for everybody in anything technology.
So, what does this mean for your experience? Like, what is exactly your experience with girls in games in the gaming world?
Well, first of all, I'm a gamer. I started gaming when I was 10 years old. That's 30 plus years now. And I've been part of the technology and gaming world ever since. When I was younger, technology was at a very different stage, but it was not something that girls did. When I became older, I had very hard time trying to find my place in technology and gaming. I was more or less the girl or the female, and ended up in some very interesting situations that unfortunately still are very active today. When I became older, I decided to start working more directly with the environment, both how to make sure that girls find their place in technology,
Hope
but
that
also
answers
make
your
sure that
question.
everybody's
Carrot, carrot.
comfortable and able to be where they are. And I've been speaking with tons of gamers, male and female, for the past decade or more. And unfortunately, what I experienced as a young person hasn't changed at all. Today, it's even worse in some cases, but we are trying to talk more about it because it's more kosher to talk about it. It really wasn't something you did 10 years ago. And when I started my organization about 6 years ago, I was told that my approach was the same as, well, disrupting diversity and inclusion for girls. And now everybody wants me to come join them and talk about it. So that's how things work. It's not really fast progress, but things change, unfortunately.
Yeah, so today,
This is a
the reason why
test
you're
donation for
specifically
35
here, because
euros.
I mean, of course,
Oh.
your knowledge, but also you were recently on Danish television and talking about this specific Facebook post. And this post was from a guy stating in the comments, "Who is the chick in Heroes game room?" How do you feel about this post?
Well, the first post in itself was just like, "Ugh, well, okay, you're calling her a chick. Well, truce in Danish. That's a word in itself. You can have an opinion about it or not. But the thing was that it didn't just end with, oh, she's Cecilia. It turned out to be a whole thing, and it turned out to be an extremely toxic and very manipulative conversation about what she had to be and had to do because she was a girl in a gamer room. And I woke up to the conversation about 10 hours after it started, and I yeah, I got mad. Basically, I got so mad that I was almost shaking. My husband was like, "Okay, go do something," because he knows me. When something like that happens, I have to speak up. And from what I could see, the way that the thread had evolved, the way that people were talking, every time somebody was trying to say, "Listen, this isn't really the way to do this," they were basically punched in the face with words or belittled or told that they should just shut up and go away. And the worst part was that Zulu was part of the conversation, and instead of stopping it, they actually participated. And it took quite a while, 6 hours or more from when I started yelling, that they eventually edited the thread and made sure that the initial thing was gone, but the thread sort of evolved. And days later, it was just one toxic swamp of go back to the kitchen, or that's just how it's going to be, or shut up.
Yeah. There's also like this specific commentary that there was like this guy that writes, "I apologize on behalf of my gender." This response to him was he was being a simp. What do
Mm.
you think about that? And how do you feel like as we people are seeing this, like how should we respond to this?
If you don't mind being kicked around like a ball, and if you really feel like you have the strength, please say something. If you do not want to be personally antagonized or attacked, please call on somebody else. I I stopped reading and replying to what people were calling me after I wrote an article about it and posted it on behalf, amongst others, of the guy who started the first thread because he was getting so much hate, and people were thinking that he was the problem, but he just was the thread starter. Um, and this guy who tried to remedy what the others were doing, he just met this massive wall of assault. Um, and what he experienced was basically just a tenth of what a female was experiencing. I was speaking with one of the female moderators who tried to basically clean up the thread before it
Mhm.
went too far. A few days after, and she was horrified. She's never experienced anything like that that severe before, but it was basically just how the gaming community works when you're not looking close enough. When you're approaching gaming from not just, hey, this is fun, let's game, but the community and all the sub threads that exists.
Yeah. There's also like Heroic is a team in Cisco. But there's another team, Estralis, who responds to the post. How do you feel about this response from another team?
I personally know a lot of people from Astralis, and I wouldn't expect anything else. They are one of the teams in CS and basically esports that's trying to make sure that there's room for everybody. One of the top ranking FIFA players in the world is female, and she is with Astralis, and she's also being hailed as a player and not just a female player, which is awesome and has a lot to do with how they do things. I was really upset that it took them coming in and basically saying this is not okay. We're better than this. We're supposed to be here, everybody. And after that, Zulu went in and tried to, oh well, we know that might not be a good thing, and we should know that we want everybody to be here, but we need to talk nicely to each other. But it took Astralis, one of the world's leading CS:GO team, it took them to make the conversation stop. Zulu didn't do it by herself. Shortly after I went in and commented on the original thread where everything went wrong, and Cecilia unfortunately was called a fluffer.
Mm.
And if you don't know what that is, please Google.
Or don't.
But it's or don't.
Or
Uh,
don't.
but it's a sexual worker,
Yeah.
basically. And I was really mad. And 5 minutes later, they started editing that part of the thread with their own response to it. So only that part disappeared, and the rest continued. And that really pissed me off because it was like, okay, we did something bad. We shouldn't have. Let's delete the evidence. And then it went on and on for hours. And again, I also ended up writing an article about it as a member of Esport Denmark, amongst others, and did what I could to speak out about this because I am furious on Cecilia's behalf. I am furious on any woman who had to look at that and feel I can't say anything. And all the men who tried to stop it, and all the men who ended up saying such stupid, I'm sorry, shit to people, me included, because I don't know what's going on in their heads, but they are the epitome of toxic gaming. And there were also some women involved, so it's not just toxic masculinity, it's toxic gaming.
Mm. Yeah, now you did mention the word fluffer. How do you feel about this? Like, I'm guessing very strongly, but can you tell me a little bit
Oh,
about that?
I was livid. I wanted, I don't punch things. Well, I frag things, but otherwise than that, I write and I speak and I tell what I know and feel in words, and that's what I did. And fortunately, Thomas Sønnesen, who's also one of the CS:GO journalists, he contacted me and wanted to talk with me because he had followed the conversation and wanted to make sure that it was public. The biggest issue right now is the fact that a lot of people in the threads were like, "Well, they edited it, so now it doesn't exist anymore." And I was again very open about it and were out saying, well, of course it exists. Just because this tiny part of a very large conversation is gone, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Every single word that was said lives in me. It lives in Cecilia. It lives in every woman who has ever been part of that conversation and has been told things that they should never hear. So, um, the guys, they really didn't wanna hear that, and I've seen that, a few days after people were trying to, "Let's be nice to each other," and then they were attacked again. But now, TV2, who's behind the Zulu, are trying to do, "Let's all be nice to each other,"
Mm.
and better language, but they still haven't addressed this. I mean, it's something that they are talking about the X Factor Denmark competitors who are being harassed horribly, and that's very horrible. They're very young people, but they're not talking about this. And this is a very, very severe issue for so many girls and so
Mm.
many women and so many transgenders and so many people of fluid identity and anybody who is not just the I want to be part of the bro community. And I'm yesterday I was invited to a panel with the UN Women Board about this exact topic. We were a very exclusive group trying to find out what can we do in the Nordic region to do something about it. And one of the things that I said was we need to keep talking even when we step on people's toes. We need to be very loud, very in your face, and continue to talk about this even when they get really mad at us. But I would never ever ask anybody who isn't strong enough to be belittled and personally attacked. I wouldn't ask anybody to do it because I've done this for years. I've been through quite a few shitstorms. If you are a women in technology advocate and you are a gamer advocate, you're gonna get shit.
But it
Lots.
is very interesting because in this thread, there's also another girl who states, who says that we are in 2021 and it's normal with girls in gaming rooms. And then another guy comments on this and calls and attacks her and then calls her like a Me Too girl, that we
Mm.
needs to relax. And now you're saying that we need to speak up. Then what do you think about this? Like, do you think we'll get more like this views that people think it's just a Me Too thing, or what do you think?
Every single time a female speaks up about something that has to do with gender, especially right now, again, with that we had the unfortunate thing in England the past week where a 33-year-old woman disappeared and ended up dead in a ditch, and there are a lot of talk about it right now. Every time a female speaks out, or a male for that matter, about these harassments, there will be people who are so strongly opposed to this chat that they will attack you. They won't attack the topic. They will attack you personally. It's like it's not going after the person, but they do. They go after the person again and again and again and again. That's why I really think that everybody should learn how to speak up, but I also know that you need some time to know when to back off and let other people, and then tag team. That's what we need to do. We need to tag team this.
But now she's being called a Me Too girl. Do you think that Me Too has like become a negative thing? And if so, why?
Yeah, and so is feminism.
Mm.
People are very mad at these words. Me Too started with one thing, which was clear sexual assault on females, and ended up being a giant scandal in the movie industry and everywhere else. And it's ended up in a place where we are not quite sure when things are sexual assault or if it's just somebody being friendly. And a lot of males, in particular, and females also, but males in particular, are feeling attacked on their basis of existence. Oh, so I can't call somebody cute. Oh, I can't give her a pat on the back. Oh, I can't. And no, basically, you should never do that to anybody who doesn't want it. But still, how about flirting and all of these things? And the Me Too movement has a very ugly backside, which is that uh, all men or kill all men, which is right now a very very horrible thing that people are saying, is out. At that every man in the world should be horrible, and of course they're not. Like
Mm.
everybody's horrible. That's, I'm sorry, stupid. And like with feminism, that some take it that so far that it's almost an us against them, and that's why it becomes toxic. We have to remember that we've lived in a world that, until a few decades ago, were created more or less solely for men by men to cater for men. Um, so many things have been created to fit the mold of the man, and the woman being the odd one out. There's books and stuff about that if you want to know more of that. Um, but we are now living in a world where we're supposed to be equals, and the fight for equality means that somebody has to change their ways and something has to give. So what is it? How do we do this? And every transition is really hard. So the Me Too movement was one of the things that was really ugly. It was really horrible. It was really in your face. And
Mm.
we are part of the Me Too movement in the gaming industry, unfortunately, because we have so many who is sexually harassed, either mentally or verbally or, yeah, even physically in the gaming industry. So it's toxic, and many people will want to run away whenever they hear it. But it's also become something that you hit other people in the head with.
Mm. But what if then girls or like girls get attacked and then guys like defend them, then they can be called simps. Like also in this thread, this is like what's happening. They're going to be called simps. Like, what do you think has? Because does it have like a negative effect or a positive? And what do you think?
Both. Every time somebody disagrees with somebody about something that's very close to their heart, or their something that is part of their core value, or what they've been trained to, or what somebody raised them to think, you are attacking their existence. So a lot of these people are feeling attacked on their existence. We are, whenever we start a debate with feelings, I usually say that people have feelings in their ears. Every time you have feelings in your ears, you can't hear anything that isn't filtered through this.
Mm.
So when somebody says something that is opposed to what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you've been raised to think, what your unconscious bias is, you're very likely to feel personally attacked. And what you do then is what anybody who feels really attacked would do: you attack back.
Mm.
It's not an intellectual debate. It's an emotional and very personal debate. And the thing is that we have to try and raise it to a more level,
Mm.
neutral field, and that's really hard every time you have somebody who feels personally attacked. And a lot of these people really do. And these guys were like, "Why don't you just support us? You're a guy. You should be on our side." And he's like, "No, I'm on everybody's side, but you're an idiot right now." And they don't want to hear that.
Um, so what do you think is needed for females to be accepted in like the higher positions in the gaming world? Because as we said that Cecilia from Hero Games Room did not have the get a really bad reaction from people. So what do you think is needed for females to be accepted in these scenarios?
Time, perseverance, taking a lot of crap and continuing to speak up and not being coward. Um, it's not easy. It's really not easy. Also because we are being attacked on our gender.
Mm.
We're being attacked on our abilities. We're being attacked on not fitting whatever mold these people think that we should fit in. And especially the gender part. Cecilia was in a radio show where she said that part about her being attacked as female, they can call her stupid, they can call her crazy, they can do whatever, but she's being attacked for something, not her opinions, but her gender.
Mm.
That's really hard. Every time you attack a gender, no matter what it is, you are out on a limb, because gender is such a personal thing, and females particularly, but definitely also transgender and fluids, they don't fit the mold. As I said, they're
Mm.
not the default human. And we know that. We know that in the back of our skull. We've been told that by media. We've been told that by society. We might even have been raised in some home where there was a lot of gender roles that showed us that we were not the norm. I mean, even the technology that we use is not based on most females. So we are in a situation where we need to keep saying things, and we need to try and keep it as calm and cool and collected as possible. And that's really hard when somebody is telling you. I've been attacked on, I don't know, I think every way. I've also received death threats and all sorts of wonderful things. Very interesting. And it takes a toll. But we need to stand together. All of us who says there is room for everybody in gaming. We need to continue to talk, and we need to continue to be a part of it. And as I said before, we need to tag team. And
Mm.
every time some things become too much for one or several, it's like, okay, here's the baton, your turn. Because nobody can fight this alone, and nobody should fight this alone.
Mm. Well, that's a really insightful, Eva. Thank you so much. But I'll just say we're going to take a little break. But before that, make sure to join the giveaway. After the break, we're going to find winner for the giveaway. So yeah, it will be, the giveaway will be, first of all, we have actually three giveaways. The first will be flags with an LNO mask. The second will be a Jaina figurine, and then the third will be a Sylvanas figurine. So make sure to stay tuned. We will hear more from Eva, and then we'll also have another high position a female in here in the gaming world called Jessie. So it'll be very interesting to hear her point of view, because she's a high position in the gaming world already. So nice to hear something from her. Yeah, we'll take a little break. I think 10 minutes, and we'll see you guys then. Bye.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't Jimmy at Woodstock. They are drumming round in your red Ford. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Holding. What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa. And if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Yeah, I've discussed it with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face, a certain weight because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Oh,
And now we are back. Now we also have Jessie with us. This is the picture you can see. But first, we will find the winners from the giveaway. And as I said, it was you can choose between one of these flags, and then you also get an LNO map. Let's see if we can find the winner. Or do we have to start it first?
They're saying, "How do we join?" I'm looking at the chat.
Okay, we started. Is it going? How long will it till giveaway starts? Super. So the giveaway started. Yes. We will. So as we had before the break, we talked about this girl in debate in Heroic's game, which is a team in CS:GO. And now we want to talk about a kind of similar situation with Jessie here. As everyone knows, we are already we are partnered with Method, and Jessie is really high position in Method. And when Method just announced their return, there was this streamer, Asmongold, who decided to live stream their announcement. And this comment on his stream went wild. We can show you some of these chat reaction there is, if I can get it up. If you know how to. So, just waiting till Tunken is panicking and just have to see the things, which is very interesting. But anyway, these comments were a little wild, as I said, and very hurtful towards Jessie. Can we get them? Yes. There you go. So what we are seeing here is the women in the same position, as I said before, being bashed like crazy in the chat. First hand, we have Alyssa, and people are giving her much sexual harassment in chat, like saying some very sexual things about her, and really focus on her looks. And then afterwards, we have Jessie, who is being ashamed for the way she looks, and she's being bullied and abused because of her looks. And I think this is what we can see. Yes, this is what we see here. So, Jessie, because this is about you, how did you feel when you first saw these comments?
Hey guys, just a quick introduction. I'm Jessie. I'm the program manager for Method. But I'll be honest with you, Jaina, to be fair, I didn't see the comments right away. I had a good friend who reached out and warned me, don't watch the Asmongold clips. So I didn't, not for a while. In fact, I didn't even watch the chat on our broadcast because knowing something will happen and actually watching it happen aren't the same thing from a mental health standpoint. I came really close to not taking part in the rebuild broadcast because I've been around the WoW Twitch community for a long time, and I knew this was going to happen to some degree. But at the end of the day, I'd put blood, sweat, and tears into helping rebuild Method. I not only believe the words that we said during that broadcast, but also I helped formulate those words. Like, I believe them. They are me. So to sit out of that broadcast because it would be easier on my mental health kind of felt like a cop-out and just not something I wanted to do. I know who I am. I know what I look like. Does it hurt when someone comments on it? Of course it does. Does it sometimes make me feel less than or not worthy to do my job? Sure, sometimes. So I just have to focus on the fact that my looks are only a small part of who I am. And I think that who I am offers a lot to the esports space, and no one at Method has ever made me feel anything other than qualified to do my job.
I mean, Jessie, I've been spoken to you like only a few times. I can really say that I find you such an awesome person and cool person, and it's so cool that when you believe in the words that you're saying, that you actually wanna, like, of course I want to say this because I believe in this, and that's so cool to do that. You said
Thank you.
something you have experienced before. In that, what way have you experienced this before?
Well, to this extent, no. Obviously, any kid who's chunky growing up is going to have dealt with people who've made fun of them for their weight. But
Hmm.
especially in regards to esports, I've always been a background player. I didn't even have a picture attached to my social media for a long time because I just assumed I'd be automatically treated differently by some people when they saw what I look like. So, like, being brave enough to add that picture and then to own what it means to be Method Jesse on socials has
Hmm.
definitely been areas of personal growth for me. I still give random people on the internet way too much power to ruin my day, but maybe this time next year I'll be a bit stronger.
I mean, you're already so strong that you, for instance, today want to speak up about it, which is so freaking cool. But yeah, when you did actually read these comments from the stream, like like how did your day, like did you just ruin your day, or how did you react?
Yeah, first I just want to acknowledge that Asmund did try to take his
Mm.
chat to task for their
Yeah.
toxic comments. I don't really know him, and I can only assume the very best of intentions on his part. But of course, it sucks to see people in the community that's been my home for so long, the WoW community, ignore everything I have to say to focus on the fact that I'm overweight and I'm female. So it hurts, and let's be honest, it can be depressing.
Hmm. Um, do you feel that influencers do enough to stop this harassment, like and abuse towards women in their stream? Like, do you think he could have done more? I mean, of course, he, as you said, he did try to set a stop to it, but do you think he could have done more?
I'll be honest with you, I don't have a perfect answer for you.
Hmm.
I've been moderating Twitch chats for several years at this point, and it's almost impossible to corral a runaway Twitch chat with a Twitch chat as big as his is, often is. A lot of times, efforts you try to shut down bad behavior just encourage people to jump on the bad bandwagon and behave even worse. So it's really hard. You have to make really hard decisions on where the lines are for the culture of your community and make sure your mod team is also on board with you. So it's a massive challenge for any streamer, especially a streamer that size. And strong stances can sometimes negatively affect your bottom line. If you do take that aggressive opinion, like this isn't right, so this doesn't happen in my stream, people might stop watching, which is a hard decision to make when it's your livelihood. So saying all that to say that's not saying we're doing a great job necessarily, and that we can't and shouldn't be doing better. There's just no magic pill that gets us there. It's about like constant effort to make things better. That over time we'll see some true changes in the attitudes.
Hmm.
So Ava, now you heard a little bit about Jesse's story. What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's horrible, first of all, but unfortunately, it's not just a one-off. I wish it were. Being a female and not fitting the social standards of how you're supposed to look is never something that these trolls will. Yeah, they like them because they
Mm.
can say things about them. And no matter how capable and wonderful and smart and anything you are, whenever somebody starts attacking you personally, again, as I said before, you get hurt. And I think that it's again, it's a symptom. It's a horrible, horrible symptom of this very toxic environment that's been going on for decades, been left alone for decades, and now we're really starting to view it again. It's like we had Gamergate not that long ago, but still long ago, where we all talked about how horrible it was and how women were treated. And now we're sitting here, I don't know how many years later, and it's still an issue, but we can sit here and talk about it. We can actually have a conversation about it. We couldn't do this 10 years ago. So we are just a tiny bit further. Not much, but a tiny bit. It still does not in any shape or form you're not supposed to live through what you've been exposed to, Jesse. It's really not okay. You know that, everybody knows that, but it's still it's I from a professional standpoint, I hope that the organization behind you and the people behind you were like, we do not tolerate this, and we like you, and we know that you're good. Because every time an organization or a person has that kind of power, they also need to make sure that they speak out against it.
Very, very nice. So I hear that the giveaway is almost over. So the last people who have not joined, make sure to join. And then we'll find the winner for the first giveaway. Let's see what it is. It's Ruby. Who won a banner and an LNO face mask. Congratulations, Ruby. And now we'll be starting the next giveaway, which is the Jaina statuette. I hope I actually almost want to do it because I am Jaina, you know. I have to.
I can see that Ruby, she really wanted the Jaina statue also, but
Let's see. We'll start the next one. And so here. And
so now
it
it's the Jaina statue. Okay.
make sure to join with the exclamation point giveaway. Yes. So back to the awesome discussion. So so what do you think, Eva, that can be done about this? Like getting Twitch chats being more like or less toxic.
Well, again, it's as you say, Jesse, and I've said before, it's a long haul. It's about constantly trying to make sure that you weed out what's things before they go too far, and try to. Well, basically, right now the best thing is try to mellow it out. Make sure that if something starts, it's like, okay, well, let's try to scale it down. Let's try and not emphasize this. And calling people out, we're like, you're an idiot, or you shouldn't do that. That won't help because they're just gonna get more pissed. But making sure that you have focus on trying to level out the debates before they go too far. It's a hell of a job, as you said. And with the very large streamer, it's gonna be it's gonna be a team job. So having guidelines, having specific rules about how people should interact, like who can interact. That's a way of weeding some out. But again, it's a long haul. It's a constant. It's like having to, I don't know, re-educate people in some shape.
So far we have spoken a lot about if you stand up for the girls in games, you'll be called a simp. And if you work for a higher position and appear in a photo looking nice and making up, you will be sexually harassed. But if you show up on cam looking anything less than perfect, you're being bullied. So Jesse, how do you think we can make space for females in esports and working with esports organization without being harassed?
You know, even outside of abuse, it can be hard to be taken seriously as a woman in esports. Just to give you a for instance, at the beginning of the year, I did a voiceover for a Method community team video for our YouTube channel. It's an initiative I own inside Method, and there were comments about me being a diversity hire for like rep repair. So not even acknowledging the fact that I've already been with Method for a year already. I wasn't a new hire. I have 15 years of experience in like consulting and project management for a Fortune 50 company. So reducing my worth down to just my gender can really sting.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there were a lot of lovely people who responded to those comments in a very supportive manner to kind of balance out the scales. But it definitely things like that can leave a bitter taste in your mouth. And I think the most important trait you can have as a woman in esports is sheer stubbornness. The more of us that stick it out, that do our jobs well, and work to make esports more welcoming, the easier it gets for others to find a place to fit in the industry. The number of women in gaming as a whole in the industry is growing all the time, and esports needs to keep up with that trend of growth. I'm only here because someone gave me a shot. Someone supported me in taking that leap of faith into esports. So to me, it's about making room, supporting and promoting women in esports, not because they're women, but because they do an excellent job and deserve the same chance to make an impact as anyone else.
That's a really good answer, Eva. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's all about perseverance. It's hard. Again, it's very hard, and you need a good team, and you need to have a level head and both feet on the ground for doing it. But somebody has to do it, unfortunately, and somebody has to be the ones that get the initial kick in the butt. I mean, every time that we show that esports are for everybody, that gaming is for everybody, it helps. Every time we level out what gaming is, it helps. Every time we talk about that gaming is inclusive, not exclusive, it helps. And every time that we acknowledge the fact that about 50% of females game, it helps. But all these statistics and all these things, they somehow end up behind the facade of how we're usually seeing or portraying gamers or if anybody. I mean, it's like you have to be this special kind of male person to be a gamer, but no. I mean, just looking at the three of us, we're three very different women, and we
Yeah.
all gamers, and we all love it. And I mean, I spent an entire lifetime in World of Warcraft for a while, and I know that being a gamer and a female is somehow obnoxious, but again, finding your peers, finding people who support you, that is the best thing ever.
I mean, both of you are so strong, cool women. That really, actually really good at like speaking up about this. But if obviously it's not everyone that can do this. But do you guys think that females will be accepted into working in higher position in esports? Do you think that more will be? And what do you think like it will take there to for it to be like a normal thing that females are having higher position in esports? Jesse, what do you think about that?
Well, I absolutely do. I like wholeheartedly believe that it will become the norm, not the exception, to see women in leadership positions across the industry. There's definitely a groundswell right now of the women joining esports orgs. I mean, there'll be more qualified candidates to take those senior roles as they become available. If you look back at the past, you're like, well, we don't have a lot right now. Well, 10 years ago, we had very few. 10 years before that, we had like none. So it's like as more women enter, there's more people who have the qualifications to apply for those senior positions, and over time it just makes effort. And I know that there are constantly things going on in the industry around us, other organizations that are promoting women in gaming and trying to pull in people to get involved in gaming and in esports, and I think all of those efforts will pay off. Might not be tomorrow, but like we've kind of talked about from the beginning, like it's a progressive thing. It's about putting in the effort and seeing continual small growth.
How has your journey been like getting to work in a high position in esports? Like, how has it been with the like from other people's reactions? Like, has it been hard or has it been easy to get a high position?
Oh, it was okay. My situation is a little bit unique in that I had a whole other career before I joined Method. I'm older than I like to tell people I am. And I have been a huge WoW fan for a number of years. And of course, I know who Method is. I became a Method fan. I kind of worked myself up through grassroots. I was a moderator, and then I did some stuff to help out with the general manager at the time. So I was like a pseudo intern before I actually got hired onto Method. So I've been around Method for a while. And I just love esports. But I can tell you, when things are hard and sometimes you think about going back to do that normal job again, it's never tempting. One, because I love the people I work with. Like I can't think of a more supportive, like amazing group of people than the staff team that I work with, honestly. But also it's just such a special, amazing thing that while there might be some attractive things about that normal 9 to 5 office job I used to have, like there's so many things in the positive column to outweigh it. As far as getting a senior role, I think it was a little bit special circumstances just with the way we rebuilt, and there was a position I was able to fill based on my experience I already had. And but yeah, no, I see only upside for women working in esports and their ability to get to a place of senior role within those teams.
So, what kind of thing would you like to say to this female out there having like some good qualifications? What do you like tips would you give them?
It will not be easy. There's probably not a day of your job that will be pure easy, but it will be worth it. And like I said, I cannot wait for the day I can attend BlizzCon in a Method jersey with my name in the back and like representing Method as part of the team. Like I live for that day. As a WoW nerd, I live for that day, and COVID has taken that away from me so far. But one day, there I'll have that moment again, and the highs like that are worth the effort that you have to put in.
Mm.
So Eva, what do you think? What do you think will take for more female being accepted into higher position in esports?
Well, right now we're in a position where there's actually educations towards managing and marketing and things like that in esports, which is a brilliant way of doing it because it takes whatever you used to educating people for and involving the esport because it's one of the most significantly growing businesses ever. So I think that's a very good step towards normalizing it. And I know a lot of women will try to be a part of that because it's part of the experience economy. And I see that the giveaway. Yeah.
Let's go away! Who will be the lucky winner? Ooh, Jasper is the lucky winner of the Jaina statue. I kind of wanted it, but okay. But congratulations, Jasper, from all of us. So now we have the last statue to give out, and we'll start the next one. It will be Sylvanas. Is that right? Should it? Yes. You may continue, Eva.
Yeah, I'll never talk out over a giveaway. That will be horrible. Nobody will listen. Everybody will, I'm the winner or I'm not, and I'm not going to do that. No, but trying to use the education system is kind of brilliant because everybody has to go through it in some sort of way, and making sure that all of the business managing part of esports is available in the different sort of educations is pretty basically just a way to get a lot of women to think, well, of course I could do that because we already know that a lot of women are in business and marketing and all these things about the social media. So making it a viable path where you get a degree, then everybody has to listen. It's not just, well, I've been gaming for quite a number of years and oh, I know a little about this. It's like, I have a diploma. I have this amount of experience. Hire me, God damn it, I'm the best. And that is definitely a good way to start.
So, Jesse, you told that you were considering if you wanted to show in this video or not, and then decided that you wanted to because you had really something to say and really wanted to share it because you really believed in what you said. Is there other times where you're like considering not showing up, and why do you consider not show up and speak at all in this
Well,
situation?
there's always that balancing act. I'm not a content creator. I'm not like a streamer natively. I play games and then I do admin work and I support people, and I've been doing that for years before I started working with Method. But like, I've never been in front of the camera person. I don't relish that. So it's always a balancing act before I take part in something or even like say something on social media to how much can my mental health take today, because we all like have to acknowledge that there's some days where it's just bad, and there's always that consideration. So if I am on the camera, an actual face cam, that I've really invested in whatever that is, because it's not a likely thing for me. But yeah, no, so it's a balancing act. You can only do as much as you feel comfortable doing, otherwise it just is very detrimental.
Do you think you'll like be more on camera if you knew there wasn't gonna be any like hateful comments toward you?
Oh, for sure. Of course. That's the number one thing. Like, I don't have a very thick skin. So, small cuts, little things that people say, way people phrase things sometimes, you're just like, huh, just for example, not to say that this is an example of it, but like, the example of Alyssa and I. With the example being Alyssa is attractive and so she's sexually harassed, and I am, overweight, so I'm bullied because of it. It's like then I become the example of something that's less desirable. It's like small things. So being on camera creates these levels of like self-esteem issues that you have to worry about. I think a lot of times content creators particularly struggle with self-esteem issues, and then I see the danger signs.
Is it really
Eh,
often that you see Alyssa getting this sexual harassment and you getting this very hateful comments? Is it really often that it happens?
No, and that's because a lot of the time we're not the faces in front of the camera, so that helps. And I can share that Alyssa was very uncomfortable with that. She's an amazing communications person, but her exposure to Twitch in particular wasn't like mine, where I'm that homegrown Twitch addict. But so when she started getting these things, she was just like, "What is this? Why would people send me these things? I don't understand." So I felt so bad for her. I had to walk her through turning off her Discord settings so random people couldn't send her DMs anymore, because she just was like, "I don't understand why these people would do this. What is wrong with these people?" And I'm like, "Gamers, sadly, gamers."
Poor woman.
I know.
Yeah, you
It must be really hard. I know that some people, again, the people outside of the gaming community coming into the gaming community at an older age, not just being part of it from a young age, there's so many things that you have to learn and understand, and exactly what you'll get in your DMs, or be told. That's really, yeah, it's interesting.
Is it really often that you get these? Do you get personally attacked, or is it quote unquote only on the Twitch, for instance? Jesse, you get attacked, or do you also get another form of harassment?
That's generally it. Again, I'm not super in the face of everyone, so there's not people talking about me on Reddit, or when I communicate with someone on social media, I tend to be very careful with what I say, just to make sure that I represent myself well and I represent Method well. So there's not a lot of danger zones there, but it generally tends to be when I'm involved with a project or a video or something like that. But again, this was like a special circumstance. This was like probably the worst I've seen specifically towards me. I do sometimes get a little bit of you know, people commenting on my Twitter posts that have nothing to do with it because I work for Method, just because Twitter trolls are Twitter trolls, but
Internet
it's
trolls in
normally a lot
general.
better. Yeah, internet trolls are they're trolls, so it's a lot better than it has been. And as far as Nanki goes, like, keeping going can sometimes feel hard, but honestly, it just gets better. I think all the time I get stronger, and I feel like I have a place here. Like, I'm part of Method, and I'm like part of the puzzle that makes us work, and like I feel valued. So those kind of things definitely helps you keep moving.
Did you know that you're gonna have these comments because you told that that's one of the reasons why you don't really want to be that much on cam and in front like the face person
Yeah,
what
I
do you
was
like
given the opportunity. Yeah, I
and
was
what kind
asked.
of what do you like, how do you prepare yourself, for instance, in this situation? Did you prepare yourself in what way for what was gonna come to you?
Well, I just recorded. Thankfully, I wasn't live. I recorded a video, and I made my younger sister record me, and she will tell you laughingly how many takes we took before we sent it to Jamie, because I was so worried that that wasn't. I didn't look at there, and I looked at the side. So many takes taking that video, and then sent it to Jamie, and he's like, "It's fine, don't worry." But thankfully, it wasn't live. But even things like today, like I got some of the basic questions you're already working through. I apologize for that. I just sat here and like organized my thoughts and typed up some notes, because that's how I work. I'm a little more analytical that way. Just have some notes helps me feel more comfortable.
But I have spoken to you both a little bit beforehand, and you both really have some very insightful points. And really both strong women and cool women that really have something to say and share, and that's super cool. I don't know if you guys have anything that you wanna share on the just here in the end.
Oh, I always have something to share, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, either or. Um, one of the things that we really need to know and learn here is that we are okay, no matter who you are, what you are. And when Jesse, when you're saying that you're not the one being sexually attractive and your partner is, my heart bleeds because it should not be what you are being told or think about yourself. And every time somebody outside of yourself is telling you stupid shit, and I get stupid shit too. I've been part of the media in Denmark for quite a few years now, and people can be really really hurtful. The big thing is that even though you're strong, even though I'm strong, even though most of us are strong, I'm also extremely sensitive. So you grow thick skin or you give yourself a sort of professional appearance, but
Yeah.
we are just human beings.
Mm.
And I cry too. I cry
Yeah.
every time somebody says something really mean about me, but I've learned to disconnect.
But
But
then what keeps you going? Like, it's a question from from Chad. What keeps you going? And like, with all this hate comes towards one, an insane heart. Like, how do you keep yourself going? And do you have any advice for others? It's to both of you.
I'm doing this for everybody else. I'm not doing this for me.
Mm.
I basically I could go jump in a lake and nobody would care if I couldn't do what I do. But still, I'm doing this for everybody else. I've been through shit, and I will go through hell and fire and water and whatever to make sure that the next generation of people will have more possibilities. Whomever, whatever, there, I'm gonna do it.
And what about you, Jesse?
I'll be honest with you. I love a good vent. I said my younger sister lives close, and we'll have dinner together and have a drink, and we'll talk about our day. But also, like I said, the other staff members I work with, we use Discord as our main communication thing, which is a very gamer company thing to do. But we'll hop into a voice chat and just talk about things being a struggle, and it really is helpful because no one is in quite that same unique position. As they are now. Not all of them are female, but they definitely deal with the same internet trolls and Twitter brigades and everything else that I do, and they're great support. So they do help me keep going.
Well, that's some awesome words for you guys. And the giveaway is also done. So let's find a winner for the Sylvana statuette. Let's see who it is. Drum roll, if I could. It's me.
Congratulations.
Oh my god. Okay. I should have got the Jaina one, but I'll take it. I'm against myself. It's okay. Is it rigged game? No, it's not. I promise you
did
guys,
get
it's
the
not
Jaina.
rigged. It's not rigged. I promise. But Eva and Jesse, thank you both so much for joining and sharing your points of view and choosing to be here and discussing this with us. It means a lot to us, and really put this topic in the air because it really is something that needs to be talked about. That you also like really pointed out that the more we talk about it, the more it hopefully will help with time. So yeah, this is all for today. So thank you, Eva, and thank you, Jesse, so much for tuning in. Oh wait, I got a lot of subs, I see. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you guys for watching. It has been awesome for you guys to listen to us. So thank you guys, and bye.
Melody goes inside me, and I don't wanna wait for you, no, no. Melody goes inside
inside me, 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 inside me. Tú bailas y todo es simple, let me take the control, yeah. Tú eres todo, aquí me miras y your eyes don't see no lie.